Coach, had you in a couple of weeks ago. Since then, a couple of long trips, one indoor, one outdoor. A lot of success for the team, and maybe kind of give us a recap of the early season so far.
Yeah, we'll start with the women first. I think they went 1-2 in Kearney at the indoor invite. Played some tough competition. Augustanda and Kearney are traditionally two nationally ranked teams, but we competed really well. And then we had a quick turnaround and went to Phoenix, and I think the women went 2-1. Is that right, Halle? Yeah, 2-1. Had some good wins there. Had a tough loss to Western New Mexico. And then on the men's side, the men went 4-0 in Kearney. 2 good Division II wins and 2 NAI good wins. And then they went 1-2 down in Phoenix, another tough loss to Western New Mexico. I think it was 3-4. And then that's gotten us ready to start off the Pac-West season coming up. So we got Biola on the men and Azusa Pacific on the men, and the women we squeezed in another match. Picked up Concordia on Friday morning, and then Biola for the women in the afternoon, and then Azusa Pacific on Saturday. So yeah, we're kind of that, first 2 weeks got what we wanted. Would have been nice to get a couple more wins, but it wasn't lack of effort. Just a few things didn't go our way, like can happen in any sport. But hopefully we get some players back, especially on the women's side. We've had one of our top players hasn't played a whole lot, and I think she's back to full strength. And the men are also back to full strength. Tyler Landon's been having a little bit of an arm problem, but we think we've got that situated out. So we're looking good for kicking off the Pac-West.
Halle, a veteran on the squad, a lot of sophomores this year, last year, freshmen, and now being in the Pac-West for a couple of years. It's the knowledge or the experience, kind of the what to expect is a little more comfortable than maybe the last couple of years for you and your teammates?
Yeah, I think especially because I think a lot of the younger ones are a little bit more nervous because they don't know what to expect, and they kind of hear the rumors from the teams. And we had ITAs here, and, they saw some of those players who are nationally ranked, like Hawaii Pacific and that kind of stuff. So I think now being in it for 3 years, I think it's good to kind of expect and, see familiar faces and know. And I think that's really good to have under our belt because we do have a pretty young team, but a lot of the returners, I think, that are playing are prepared and ready for it.
Jandre, kind of interesting start to your collegiate career, coming in middle of the year, COVID disrupting a year. Now kind of had a couple more standard years, if you will. What has this season been like for you as a veteran on the squad?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that today, how my first season was kind of cut short by COVID. But, good start to the season for sure. Definitely a much more confident start. In the past, I think we've had some rough beginnings, and, me and Coach in the team have talked a lot about confidence and the importance of confidence in any sport, but especially in tennis. Definitely a confident start to this season. Couple close losses, but I think the team's feeling pretty good, pretty confident going into this next battle. So yeah, definitely a good start.
Yeah, these two are both captains obviously for the women's team and the men's team. So they've done a great job there with leadership and, like you say, kind of been around the ring once or twice. So yeah, they're ready. Hopefully, I think this year we have closed the gap on some of these Pac-West teams, and we'll see how it plays out.
Especially in the men's team, so many guys from different parts of the world. How is that together? The team bonding, competition, cheering for each other in World Cups and Davis Cups. And things like that.
I would say the best would describe it as a fiesta. Honestly, it's just a mixed bag of stuff. Mixed bag.
Most of the time, it's a siesta for Jorge, though.
Yeah. We do have one Mexican player that's.
He likes to sleep.
He does. He
does
like
to
to
fiesta, and then he likes to sleep. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, we do have a mixed bag of cultures, and honestly, it's fun. Keeps things interesting. Everybody brings something different, and even coming from a different place that might seem normal to an American is different for me and for the other people that are international players or international students. It just keeps things super interesting, and it's funny to see how other cultures do things, what's their normal, and and what's the normal here. So it's really fun more than anything else, to be honest.
And I think that both of them being seniors have shown. I think Halle has dinner night or weekly dinners at her house, and I'm not sure what the guys do, but so the seniors have really embraced the young freshmen on both teams and made it's a really close-knit team, like you said, Chris, earlier. It's kind of some young and some veterans, but anyways, that's really nice to see.
Questions? Thank you. Oh, you didn't use this. Okay. So when you're getting ready to go to school and you're looking at jumping into another country, what kind of trepidation is that? I mean, you're leaving. I mean, kids here, they can go. Some of them can go home for spring break or something. You're here.
Yeah.
Go home for the weekend. Or
Weekend. I need laundry. I'm just going to buzz over to mom and dad's house in Denver and get laundry done.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you kind of go through to decide this is what I want to do?
Yeah. It's a good question. I mean, I think for a lot of people, it's a little different. There are people that adapt better than others do. But coming into it, I knew that I'm going into a kind of a new life. Like, this is going to be all new. It's going to be all different, coming from South Africa. And to be honest with you guys, I didn't know how to do laundry when I got here. So I actually asked one of my teammates to help me out. I was like, how does this work? But we figured it out, so it's fine. But yeah, it's a big change. But the sooner you can accept that and embrace that change, the better. It was a change for the better as well. I think a lot of people have a lot of backgrounds and come from maybe good places. South Africa, although it has a lot of beauty, has its downfalls. So for me, I saw it as an opportunity for a better life. So so for me, it was kind of an easy change. But yeah, no, it is a big step. It's a big step for sure.
Do the toilets go different like Australia?
This is funny, but your toilets are different, man. Like, your toilets have a lot more water in it than ours do. So
does the water flush though in Australia? Does it go the other way? That's what my Australian teammates told me. What the hell's going on in the toilet? The water's going the wrong way. I'm like,
yeah, I don't know. Your toilets are definitely more adapt to the American diet. I will say that. So
they are always blown away by the portions we receive here.
Just a little bit. I mean, you have the team dinners, and you guys have the international team dinners. Is it whoever plays the best has to
host? I mean, I don't have any roommates, and I must say, when Halle has team dinners, I know she is the only one working on it, so I can't really use that excuse. But I've hosted the team once, then realized how much I had to clean up, and never did it again. So, to be honest with you,
the difference between men and women.
No, but I think Halle has been kind of carrying the team in terms of hosting, having team bonding and stuff like that. So, I would say all the honor to Halle doing that. So, yeah.
Has it brought your team closer together and kind of, obviously, the young kids, they're wide-eyed, and the fact that you guys play fall, then have a long winter, and then start playing again, I mean, it's got to help kind of get everybody on the same page, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a really cool dynamic, especially since we only have like one head coach and one assistant coach for both teams. Like, the men's and women's team is really close, which is another thing that I love about Mesa. And like, we'll go play other teams and they have completely different coaches, and yeah, they cheer each other on and stuff, but it's like not the same dynamic at all. And I just like that about here so much better. Like, I do only host the team dinners for the girls because the boys eat too much and my kitchen is only so big. So sometimes I try to include the boys, except when there's food, because that's rough. But I think it's a really cool dynamic, especially for like any of the freshman girls and boys side coming in from across the world. They don't know anyone, and it's like, you kind of got to like your teammates because you're stuck with them, and that's who you got to rely on and count on. So I think the small, close-knit aspect like really brings us close together, especially this year. I haven't seen a dynamic like this, I don't think, since my first year, and it's like a really good vibe and like overall team feeling.
And Halle's from Corpus, so she came a long way too, buddy.
Yeah.
Quick 22-hour drive, you know.
You can't go home.
Her
and
mom
do
keeps
laundry.
asking me, we need to play more Texas schools, Dan. I'm like, oh, yeah, we moved to that Pac
Yeah, I was
West. We
gonna
used to play
say.
more. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did see a
Yeah,
little
she
more
got
of
to play
Texas.
against Cameron. In fact, I don't know if you remember her freshman year. That was the first time we beat Cameron's women, and Halle had, I think, the clinching win, didn't you?
It was Micah, I think.
Oh, Micah, but you had a big win.
Yeah, it was a good doubles
And her
win.
dad played football at Cameron. Is that correct, Hal?
Yeah, good
Yeah,
time.
so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, they were.
You know, going,
Beat up on those Okies.
That's might as well, right? That's what they're there for. I mean, going to California, you know, look really time and time again in this conference, gets you some really good competition, and like Dan said, you're closing the gap. So can you kind of see the progress?
I think so, for sure. Like, I think a perfect example was at the beginning of the year last year when we went and played Concordia in March probably, and I think we lost 1-6 or something, which, you know, that never feels good. And then we got to play them again in Pac West, and sadly I lost the clinching match in that one 3-4, so I'm kind of out for vengeance this week, and we were right there, and I know we're still right there with some of those teams. So I think the longer we stay in this conference, the smaller and smaller that gap is going to get.
Well, you know, I know the last couple of weeks you've kind of shifted the lineup a little bit, and obviously when you play the same team twice, when the scheduling kind of gets goofy, you don't want to play the same people, but it kind of helps kind of see the depth grow on both sides, that you can throw your number 3 guy up to 1 and you're fine.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And then sometimes, Patty, like you say, like you play 3, but then you have to play 2. It's another level. Then you go back to 3, or to me, sometimes in college tennis, I equate it like the 1s and 2s are like at a certain level, 3s and 4s, a certain level, 5 and 6. They're all, but you know, doing that does give you, when you kind of go back to your normal spot, it gives you a little bit more confidence. Well, I did play up and I did compete well, or I had a win over a player that I usually don't play against, or a position I don't normally play. So. That does help. Some coaches kind of do that on purpose. They'll move people around just to let them get a feel. Like one time I remember I pulled the guy at 1. I said, do you think it's easy at 1? Because we had a guy struggling at 1. I said, why don't you try playing 1? Of course, he lost the next 3 matches in a row. But, you know, it's just I mean, everyone at number 1 is usually a beast. And 2, but yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. You kind of like that challenge sometimes, you know, bumping up, down. Does it help that next match at your own position?
I think sometimes, yeah, especially like when you get a win higher up than when you normally play, it kind of gives you a confidence. And also, like for me, if I'm playing higher up, it's kind of like, well, I have no pressure because I normally don't play this spot, so it takes a bit of the pressure off, you know? And I think it's always good, you know, to mix it up a little bit, especially if like you know who you're playing and it's like, oh, someone's style is suited better against this player.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It is a lot about matchups and stuff, and like Coach said, the teams are kind of divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But yeah, winning a match or competing well just in a match at a higher position against a different player definitely brings some confidence to when you go back to your spot. But I must say, over my 4 years playing, I've noticed kind of a pattern in like the number 1s, 2s. You know, you kind of know what to expect coming from like a 5 and a 6, what type of player to expect. From 1 and 2, you kind of know what to expect. So in that way, it makes it better as well. So yeah.
All right, you guys, question of the week time. So this week it is, which person on your team or in your program do you think has the best chance to survive on a desert island?
Absolutely me. There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Definitely
I mean,
not
I'm
Jorge.
from Africa, so I'm basically living in a desert anyway. No, I'm
true.
just kidding.
I would give Macy Richards a fair shot. I
I'd say
think that
Macy,
girl could.
Halle on the women's.
I
Macy,
think
yeah.
Macy could do.
Definitely not
She
Kenna.
could. Oh,
No offense, Kenna. Or somebody else. Who else is? You know, she's just young.
I would say on the men's
Or
side,
Jane.
yeah, Emil probably has a
Emil
good
could
shot.
Do well. Yeah.
He's got a good shot. I think that's it.
McKenna's actually pretty outdoorsy too. I could see McKenna and Macy doing
Oh, yeah,
pretty well,
McKenna,
honestly.
Yeah, I could see. I think you though, Dre, on the men's
Yeah.
side.
I mean, I
Dre
basically live in the
Neal.
jungle anyway. It's
True.
Where's the wildebeest?
Yeah, I mean,
So
you
wildebeest.
guys have food in your plates. We have to hunt our food. Man, so,
Is this Coming to America?
yeah, I know. This is
Seen
like,
that movie?
no, I have not. I have not.
All right. Thanks, you guys.